to the Q&A. Today we're joined at my house. Welcome back with the sweets. And anyways, today we have Mod Ash, Mod Day, Mod Matt K.
Hello.
And myself, Mod Archie. All right, we also have a very fun XP drop preview to happen about halfway through the stream, as well as the Mousepad submissions. I believe we're going to show those as well. So if you didn't know that was the competition, we're allowing you to submit your own custom-made images to be sold on the merch store as mousepads. Some really good stuff in there. So cool. First question.
Before we start the first question.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm so excited.
So you'll all know about a thread on Reddit which had a bingo type game for you guys about what we say. So I've made one for these guys called Rune Bingo about what you guys say. So have one each. There you go. And these are all your things that you say every single week. So we see how quickly we can fit them in. There you go. You've got a pen each as well.
These in already.
I've seen one or two of these so far.
So we'll see who wins first. That's our mission.
Someone says Chris smells like sunshine.
Yeah, I did actually say that, yes. And you can't say these out loud, otherwise the players will say it and they'll pick them off.
Okay.
Told me to
So already got one, yeah.
Right.
So this is all we're going to do for the entire thing.
Okay. Yeah, so basically we're looking at a bingo sheet that says very common phrases that you guys say, apparently. And we're going to X them out and see who can get bingo first.
There's that one, there we go, got two.
Are we actually doing this? Okay.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
have to read
You're
all
You
way
these.
say some
behind.
strange things.
There's actually no questions for
Oh,
this
there's
stream.
another one, yeah, as well.
What? We pay, we say. That looks like it's probably not here.
Oh, I got another one, hang on. I know what all these are,
Alright,
so I
this
don't
is
know
just
which
going
one
to be
this
done
is.
before we even start. So.
Have you got any information about statistical trends of any sort at the moment?
I don't know, I wish I could think of a word
Yep,
to actually
thank
use.
you.
Restart Ash.
Oh dear.
Okay.
This was a good idea, or it seemed like it was a good idea at the beginning. There's another one, yeah. You see, they're so predictable, aren't
Can we
they?
do this every week? Is there a prize?
Fun?
Is there a prize?
You can have
That's my mic fix.
Cookie.
Sorry, that was a little loud.
yeah.
All right. Let's get into the questions. We start here. Jay Beebs asks, can we have the ability to toggle boss kill cams to be shown through the filter? This was a highly requested question for the week.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Busy looking
We're
at
going to get a
chat.
lot of this, I think.
Can we have the ability to toggle boss kill cams to be shown through the filter? I believe we've pulled for it to go.
Yeah, we pulled it without a toggle. It
Yeah.
didn't pass. We can very happily pull it in with a toggle.
Okay. Simple as that. He's suggesting the toggle could be found in game through the Slayer gem or the ring or the helmet. That sounds ideal. Okay. Grant asks, the F keys interface is simple and beautiful. It works perfectly as well. Well done, guys. That wasn't a question. I just thought that should be said. It does look very nice.
Credit to Mod Maz, who
Yeah.
made that one.
Absolutely.
Twitter at JagXMaz.
Maz is on the table.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so the F keys came out today, as well as Music Cape. Music Cape getting a lot of positive feedback as well. Looks fantastic, as well as the emote. You won't see many people with the trimmed version just yet. It's pretty rare, so keep your eyes open to see that. Cool. Next question. That guy asks, Dark Beast passed the poll to give them in Spirit Mages an upgraded drop table. When will this be happening? Was that with the Slayer update, probably?
Well, it was certainly pitched as part of it. Pardon me. Yeah, Maz is getting started on some of the Slayer stuff along with Krista. That may not be in the first batch, but the Slayer things from Poll 34 will be coming in dribs and drabs across August and in September.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll have something for you soon, maybe even next week.
All right. Fair enough. Next question's from Slayer Master, who asks, can the Bandos and Zamorak bosses get an Urg Bone and Demonic Ashes drop, providing 140 prayer XP when buried or scattered? This would help move their profit closer to Armadale/Sarah.
We spoke about that months and months ago, didn't we?
Urg
Well, we
Bones
didn't
from
do anything about it.
Yeah.
Bandos has been discussed. And
Well, he isn't Urg, and at the moment he doesn't drop Urg bones, although they do exist in the game.
yeah. The Demonic Ashes, I think RS3 has something similar. They're called something different, though.
Well, the thing about Ashes is that, imps and demons of various sorts were upgraded to not just drop ash that is useless,
Yep.
except for Shades of Morton fans, but to drop ashes that you could scatter to the winds and get prayer XP for, like bones for demons. And if we had that kind of thing in the game, then it would make sense for Krill to drop some pretty big ones.
Yep.
Except we don't have ashes for scattering as a prayer update, so it wouldn't really make much sense if he was the only demon who dropped any.
Yeah, it would be, well, if he was, I couldn't see that being too much of a fuss, as he's the only one that drops it. You're only going to get so many per hour. Can't really be, I don't know. Anyways, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Just to kind of move them closer to Arma and Sarah in terms of profit.
Well, I don't see everybody saying no, 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 or yes, 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 yes.
Yes, they're just
Same
kind of
mod
trying to play
ashes.
bingo still, I think.
Yeah. So they mod
Yeah.
Ash at the moment, yeah.
All right. Next question. Bod asks, can we have the ability to imbue Barbarian Assault rewards so they have some use still at higher levels?
Yeah, I've got that one as well, yeah.
So he's basically looking for an excuse to use the full set. What are your thoughts on adding a set bonus to the Barbarian Assault rewards?
I do like set bonuses.
Yeah, I think it would make sense.
And it gets around the problem with, what one item in a set not being very good compared to other items that go in that slot.
Mhm.
So I'm almost always in favour of that kind of thing.
I suppose it boils down to what set bonus we could give it, whether making it better will replace anything else, or the use of anything else, as well as do people want to do more Barbarian Assault? I mean, I get sort of a bit of feedback from the players saying that I only do Barbarian Assault because I get that, and once I've got that, I never want to touch it again.
Yeah.
And although we have lots of interesting mini games out there, I don't necessarily think that maybe we should probably sort of focus on the ones that people currently enjoy. But
there's
I
a
mean,
lot
they
of
can
people that
quite
enjoy
happy.
it.
Yeah, I can say I don't know sort of what the ins and outs of people are enjoying it are doing.
Barbarian
Yeah.
Assault is not an easy thing to get into if you're a casual player. You one drop there and you don't have a load of friends, then it's not something you can just get into, and it takes a fair bit of doing as well.
Yeah.
And with 4 people who might be getting fed up with you for being a newbie, it's a very uninviting game. Could be there's something we could do about that if we wanted to do anything with Barbie Assault at all. I probably shouldn't call it that.
Barbie Assault.
I'd love to see this one
Yeah.
Strawpoll if possible. Can we do a Strawpoll? We will try to get a Strawpoll out to you. Basically asking if you'd like a set bonus for the Barbarian Assault rewards. If not, just say yes or no in the chat.
Yeah.
To be honest, that'll give us a fair response. We should have a Strawpoll out shortly. Cool. Next question. Hash1 asks, can you change the way the Zamorak Mage clue scrolls work in the wilderness? Currently, players are using them if they're teleblocked, and it guarantees an escape. So if they're under attack, they can just kind of dig, pray, and X-log.
If they're in the right place, presumably.
Yes, obviously.
Sounds like it might be a bug to me. It's not
Well, the
supposed to
thing
work
is,
that way, is it?
if you're in a single way area and you're fighting the NPC, it's not going to kill you, whereas the PKO who would otherwise have fought you probably would have done.
Oh,
So-
right, I see, yeah.
Yeah, it's like staying with the bat if you don't want the PK to be able to attack you.
So the suggested fix here is to simply make it so that the Zamorak Mage not appear if you're already in combat. 10 seconds or so after you're done being in combat, you could spawn it.
That could work.
Sounds fair to me.
If we're checking for combat from a player as opposed to combat from anything, that might be safer because, we don't really want to end up in a situation where a player can't. There's NPCs around and
Yeah.
you can't spawn the mage.
That makes sense.
Or we could even make the mage just defer to another player and let them steal you.
So we have the results there from the straw poll. Would you like a set bonus for the Barbarian Assault rewards, which is at 70%? It's actually not doing too bad. It is a good idea. I think the no-sayers are just pretty much people who don't want to do Barbarian Assault, so it would really depend on how much of a bonus that is, if it's going to start to compete with something like Void, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's an interesting idea, though, that if you have people like Void because it's Void, and if you get the same effect from a different set of armour from Barbarian Assault, then you can decide which minigame you prefer to play to get the equipment of the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe actually bringing it up so it levels up with everything else is a good thing to do.
1 second.
We have different sheets.
You do have different sheets, yes, we've all got different sheets.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, there's some of them do cross over, so I wasn't going to write, we've got 16 on each one, so I wasn't going to write whatever it is, 64 different things.
All right, next question. Minnie asks, can you pull adding animations to actions that currently lack them? Example being crafting battle staves, fledging bolts, etc. We've spoken about this one.
Stringing bows, I think, was a popular one.
Yeah, is there an animation for that?
I remember it came quite late on or something, and I'm
There
pretty
is
sure it was
an-
after 2007, wasn't it?
There isn't an info screen.
I could swear there is.
Cool.
I take the bow up and sort of.
Yeah.
do the streaming thing?
I have no idea how long it takes to make these animations. More one for Mod Ghost and Mod Alfred, but I'm pretty sure I remember Mod Ghost saying he'd be more than happy to do that, but he had some big projects he was working on at the moment. So
Yeah, it's not a massive job to make an animation of that sort of ilk, because they're very short ones, aren't they?
yeah, could definitely make note and put it on the list. All right, Haynes asked, could we get an in-game notepad? Don't know when this came to the game, like 2011 or so?
It was around the time when you could no longer put people's names on your ignore list when if they didn't actually exist, because people used to use the ignore list as a notepad, and when you couldn't do that anymore, we added a notepad. The reason that was done was for compliance with the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, so that younger players couldn't send information to the to Jagex without being over a certain age. So yes, there's a bird. So to stop kids typing things that might be their personal details, we
There it is.
Yes.
I've got that one.
Sorry.
Should we talk about RuneScape?
I wondered if we get that one.
Yeah.
I was trying to
So
Sorry, as you were saying.
there's- to stop children typing stuff in that might be their personal details, we removed the ability to type in random stuff into ignore list, and we gave them a notepad, but only if they were registered as being old enough to have a notepad in the game. 2007 Escape doesn't have that because it came after 2007. And to be honest, of all the things we could spend time and get the engine team spend time doing, recreating Windows Notepad didn't seem like a very good use of time.
Indeed.
So we're not. Of all the things we could be doing, we'd rather do something else.
I think it was used, I would imagine, I didn't use it myself, but for setting goals. And I think one of the things that kind of tackles that is going to be the XP dropper for sure.
I do hope so.
Yeah. So hopefully that should solve that problem. Okay, next question is from the Buffalo, who asks, if you're considering adding new rooms to the construction skill, can you increase the max of 31 total rooms as well?
Every time we add a new kind of room, the one time we added a new kind of room, we did that, and we can do it again.
Okay.
Last time I spent a bit of time rewriting how rooms are rendered so that the loading time of houses wouldn't get longer when I did it. Should still be fine for this update as well.
How many rooms can we have if we wanted to?
Well, let's see, an instance can be 16 that way, 16 that way, 3 levels. 16 times 16 times 3.
That's a lot of rooms.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Of course, you might get really bored doing staircases.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Sevi asks, will you soon be polling other item syncs similar to the idea with the Zora skills? What else would you think
Well,
kind of
given
needs
that
that?
Zora Scales is failing, it's questionable.
Yeah, indeed. And the other item sync that we polled was for the Grand Exchange attacks on the Grand Exchange, and that failed as well.
We
actually never got as far as polling, did we?
Yeah, we were doing a survey, a formal survey in the poll module, but there was not support for us to tax trades in the GU, which is why we have not done it.
Got that
It's too
far.
much like real life. If you tax the GU.
Yeah, that's kind of true, to be honest. I can't think of any other items that players would really want to degrade into something that would make sense. So
we're open to ideas,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it'd have to be more popular than the Zora thing, and that seemed fairly popular, and it's not
What
passive.
is it? What is it on at the moment?
72% or something like that, a little bit lower, I
Yeah.
think.
Something of the sort.
I
It
thought
might-
was a
it might
really
pass.
Good idea.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
got plenty of time to go.
Yeah, poll 35 is running, by the way, so if you haven't voted, please do, and I'll keep eating popcorn while you do it.
Yes, by the way, guys, I'm pretty sure we've already all X'd out Dragon Claws, so
Yes.
thanks for your contribution.
Yes,
Alright.
you'll go that one.
RS Tutorial asks, can we have the ability to mute pets? The Armadillo pet in particular is a little loud. This is true.
Should we just shut it up for all players? We can do that.
I think if you mute area effects, it mutes the pets.
It's a mutable area effect, yes.
Yeah, so if we could just have like, I don't know, a separate, that seems just too many toggles, isn't it?
Well,
Never too many talks.
to be honest,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if you just never heard the Armadillo pet.
Yeah, or the Armadillo crossbow special attack.
That one I just don't like. That one we can do by making it a sound only for the people who are casting it, perhaps, rather than everyone nearby.
That would make much more sense.
Do we also have the krill pet clomping around really loudly?
Haven't heard it.
Can't remember.
but
Maybe
I
also
can
look at
imagine
pets,
so.
have a look at all of them and see what they do.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. Purple asks, can you add a boss below the Stronghold of Security that once defeated, players will it's the first time.
No.
There's not an X for that, is there?
No, I didn't have that.
Players will no longer have to answer the gate questions.
Oh, we could do it.
Yeah.
Of all the ways of doing it, that's a funny one, and a fairly dev time intensive way of achieving something that could perhaps be done simpler.
Could just put like a lesser demon down there. That sounds like an appropriate boss.
Well, let's see. You've gone through what war, famine, pestilence, in whichever order, and death. At the end of all that, I think the end of the world should come, but disconnection. Or some big monster, yes.
Yeah. Just put a gnome child down there.
Or
Problem
page
solved.
51 monster.
Okay. Infinite God asks, will the tournament servers be returning in the future? And what happened to the free-for-all portal? So for now, the tournament servers are still there.
One of them
the worlds. One of them is. The free-for-all portal was closed, and it will be reopened for the next event.
Yeah, so when we redo the tournament. For those who don't know, we got DDoS at the weekend, and we can do the tournament. So we're going to be doing it anyway, and we've got some stuff going on, which means we can do it, and we'll be in touch with the teams shortly about when. It's going to be quite cool.
If you're one of the teams participating, you've already received an email of suggested new dates. So there you go.
So I had a meeting today with the IT and all the other people involved in it. So we've got solutions going forward, so that's great. What else are we doing with the tournament? So once the tournament's done and it's happened, and when it's finished, we'll be taking the tournament servers away, and then we'll bring them back every now and then. Basically, every I think the next time we'll do a tournament, running through my brain right now, is sort of Easter time next year. We'll do it again there, so we'll bring back the tournaments then around that time.
Okay. I love the idea of something being here for only a temporary period, like a Big Mo or something like that. Just makes it that much more fun when it finally does come around.
Absolutely, yeah. But hopefully, what we'll see is, if these tournaments stay as popular as the first one was, even though it was running for only an hour, if it stays that popular, then we can do it more and more and more and more. And now we could even have, monthly tournaments or
I can hear you crunching
stuff.
a biscuit.
I think we need more crunchy cookies.
Try them, they're really good.
But yeah, there's going to be a few things changed. So we obviously saw a massive amount of attention interested in it with 22,000 people in the first hour. It's remarkable for the first game. Just thinking about how many people would be interested in the finale would be quite fun to watch.
Yes,
definitely.
Quite amazing.
So there's a few things we've definitely taken note of from the previous one this past weekend to be improved for the next one. So it should be really, really good.
Yeah.
Are we bringing the portal back?
Thank you.
The free for all portal, yeah.
What did they say?
Should be all good. Is there a crunch?
Yeah. So the free for all portal will be open every time we do a tournament over the weekend of it. The problem is opening it all the time, which I'm sure lots of players would like. It means we'll then impact what's happening in the wilderness, and obviously we need to protect that. So
yeah,
that's that in it.
All right,
Governor.
Bud asks, could we have the ability to check the age of our kittens/cats?
Check the age.
How close they are to evolving.
Oh, I see. Not like how long it's been since you acquired the thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's stored on something. For what it's worth, it's stored per player rather than per cat, which is why you get such a strange effect if you've got more than one cat knocking about, and why Gertrude tries to discourage you from having more than one pet knocking about. So, we can. You'll just get some strange results if you start checking multiple ones.
Okay. Interesting to know how close your kitten is to evolving. I feel like that sounds
Evolving.
like Pokemon.
It does sound like a
To growing?
Well, if it evolved into like the
Transforming?
cat from Red Dwarf, that would be even cooler. But,
Yeah.
All right.
They'll be lost on most of the community, really.
You young people.
Indeed.
Okay, we've got an image for this one. So this one's from Lily, who asks, could we see a Champions Challenge cape as a reward? The cape would deteriorate with every champion defeated. Really interesting idea. So the cape, instead of improving and looking nicer with every kill, it would instead deteriorate and look worse and worse and more rigid. And depending on how messed up your cape looked, really would tell you how solid of a warrior that was.
It's a unique way of doing it, isn't it?
It's kind of cool.
I can see the logic behind it.
It's pretty
And
lovely.
eventually you're wearing something that looks like a fishing net or something.
So you got the cape on your screen there. You can see that it's kind of ripped up cape. Obviously, it wouldn't look like that. But
how many champions have we got?
Can't actually remember.
10, 12?
let's say
There
that.
are lots.
Something of the sort.
Something like that.
That's
Can
quite
we
a few
make
stages.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You see, can we make a cape look noticeably different through 12 stages of change? I mean, would you be able to say, oh, that's stage 7 and that's stage 8, because you're going to want to be able to recognise that?
I
Do 3
think-
stages.
Yeah,
It'd be a bit tricky.
I think it's going to be hard to spot that many.
Mm.
I mean, unless they change shape a lot, it's always the back and the bottom that's getting nibbled up.
Yeah.
All the scrolls are different colours though. So if you have like a patchwork cape and have all the different colours,
That'd be interesting.
when you
Yeah.
can take out the.
Definitely doesn't have to look like that image. We're just going
That's
through
gonna be
the
hard
idea
work for
here.
you.
Yeah.
Well, it means that we'd have to have all the combinations.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good one for a straw poll because there was a lot of positive feedback in there. So we're going to ask you, going with that picture you just saw, would you like to see a Champions Challenge cape as a reward for completing the challenge scrolls, champion scrolls? This cape would deteriorate over time, and depending on how messed up your cape looked, really how ripped up it was, that would show off your prestige. Okay, so we'll wait for that straw poll to show up.
It's like a cape with numbers on.
Repeat it again. Yeah, so it's going to be a Champions Challenge cape. I'm saying that right? Which would be a reward for completing the challenges. Now they're nosing the chat. This makes no sense. There's so many S's.
Yes,
the nosers just keeping quiet.
decors.
Yeah.
Socks
Alright.
off.
Well, we'll see in the straw poll. Make your vote count. Okay. While we wait for that, next question. AGS asks, will Old School be getting any new hairstyles soon?
Had a few requests for that lately, possibly from that player though.
Yeah. We've got
Fashion
The artists can certainly make new hairstyles, and would probably have a lot of fun doing it if we consider what, say,
Who
Mod
would
Ghost
love
looks
new
like.
hairstyles?
Yeah.
So
I think we should get a Mod Ghost hairstyle.
he's had quite a few since we've known him.
Yeah. There's which one didn't we put in? We put in the one, didn't we? Or
We
Supreme
put in
Leader.
the Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
And
Which
we
was
also modelled a bowl cut, but we haven't launched it.
Yeah. So we've got a bowl cut sitting in the.
Would you guys like a bowl cut?
Yes.
That's easy enough.
Yeah. I think.
What are the other major ones that we're kind of missing there then? I think just the really up-to-date kind of like newer ones where people like shave their heads and all that.
A sideways mohawk.
Yeah,
I
let's go
think.
for one of those.
I think we've got
Which
to
side?
have unique ones,
both?
which you only
Top
find.
across the top.
You only find in RuneScape.
Yeah, unique ones that mean something. So we should have obviously Ash's haircut, which I think will be an immediate win.
I think we should
We
have.
should have a haircut modelled on each of us. Although you got mine, haven't you? I mean, that's the
We've
default
got
one. Mine.
yours.
Mine, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
standard.
I think we should have one that will glow yellow depending on your level, the higher your strength
Glow
level is.
yellow?
Yeah.
Like a angel's halo.
No, more like a Super Saiyan. That's
Oh.
close enough.
We could have
Um,
yellow bits here that are always yellow, whatever coloured the rest of it is. That would look interesting.
All kidding aside, we have the results from that straw poll for the Champions Challenge cape thing,
Wow.
which is passing at
Awesome.
78%.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like that.
Excellent.
A really good idea coming through. Cool. Take note of that. All right, next question. We are down here. Tundra asks, could bossing in PvP worlds come with a slight increased chance of receiving a drop? Encouraging people to start bossing in PvP worlds.
Oh, I think that wouldn't go down too well in my
It's
mind.
not
It's
like
very
they're that
slight.
popular.
Yeah.
It's very slight though.
I mean, slight is still something, isn't it? And you know, as the community are quite happy to tell us quite regularly if we try and do something a little, which is against one of the fundamentals, such
Yeah.
as getting something extra from a PvP world you wouldn't get from a non-PvP world, such as brawler gloves or XP or what have you, then they don't want to. They don't like that. Or ban him. That was one.
Thank
Oh
you.
no, I didn't have that one. That's
I
not
had
on
that
mine.
one.
I don't
They
have
said
one
that
either.
already.
That's
I did
not
get
right.
this one though.
That's not right.
And this one?
Wouldn't adding PVM to PvP worlds kind of defeat them?
PVM's already in
Yeah, you're
PvP
right.
worlds if
But-
you want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I have the Benjamin
special
one.
PVM for PvP worlds
Yeah.
sounds like it defeats the point.
When we did PVM in the wilderness, which was that deliberately done so that people would go into the wilderness, and that seems to have worked quite effectively because they're still doing it, which is a positive thing to think about. This content went into game over 12 months ago now. It was January last year, wasn't it? So almost 18 months ago, and it's still being played. So that's anything than dead content, really, isn't it? Which is good.
thing is, if we were to give benefits to doing PVM on PvP worlds, or indeed like people originally suggested a XP multiplier, which I'm rather glad we didn't do, it's risk versus reward so long as there is a risk. And the traffic on PvP worlds is not such that there would be that risk.
Yeah, especially not around the bosses either. Mod Lazy, brilliant, thank you.
Oh,
We got that one.
I have that one.
Oh, I'd already had that one.
All right, fair enough. Let's just go to the next question then.
This makes it much more fun for us, doesn't it?
We're going to be here for a while.
Yes, we're finally paying attention to what they say, and boy, do they say some odd stuff.
All right. Boots asks, after the max cape, when can we expect the veterans cape to be added? This can kind of go with the comp cape. I don't think we have any set dates at the moment for anything like that.
Well, we've got the difficult bit, which is for the engine to tell us how long the player's been around. We got that yonks back, so if we design more capes, we can give them for whatever reason we like.
Yep.
On the other hand, we have also just pulled a whole lot of other things for the artists to do on top of the Slayer stuff that they are also doing. So this might not be a good time to say we want more capes.
Capescape.
Doesn't RS3 have a veteran?
Yeah,
item?
which makes more sense because our game's only been up for, 2.5 years or so.
Yeah, which is slightly awkward because a lot of people don't get to use the same account they had back in the day. So you might be a RuneScape veteran who played in 2007, but if you aren't using the same account, then it doesn't really count towards your veteran cape in the way that ethically it maybe should.
Speaking of which, by the way, guys, the max cape is currently being pulled. I believe it's passing by quite a bit to have the stats of a 99 skill cape, but with the stats of the fire cape, before this Q&A, it was failing. So we'll see what it's at afterwards, but that seems unlikely.
I like the fire cape stats, I do.
Yeah, I do too. I think it should be, well, it's a little biased. I'm never going to own it anyways, doesn't matter. Titanium asks, when might we get to see more in-game filters? I'm specifically asking for the quest tab filter.
What's that do?
Munch, munch,
What's
munch.
that do?
The quest tab filter.
Yeah.
Filter through ones that you've completed, ones that you haven't.
Oh, right,
ones
okay.
that you might
that
have the
makes
requirements
absolutely
for, etc.
logical sense, doesn't it, to
It's
have
not that
that?
hard.
Yeah.
It's already a dynamically generated interface.
Yeah.
It just needs maybe a day of interface worked on it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Cookie.
We should just all be quiet and move the microphone into Ash's eating.
It sounds like one that might go hand in hand with the shuffle button for the music tab, if and when we do that.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or indeed, alphabetical sort for your clan chat.
Could make for a nice little quality of life update. A bunch of those. All right. Brent asks, why wasn't the max cape pulled to have better stats than the fire cape? Well, because with the fire cape, it's still failing. And if it was the absolute best, basically the equivalent of every cape in the game, you could throw into one, so it would have the mage bonus of the mage arena cape, accumulator, etc. That just
cape.
yeah, that just seems like something that if you didn't have, you would kind of be sad, and you're probably not going to have it because it's going to be available for only it would be available for only a select few. I think that's the only reasoning, really.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Yeah. We got something there. Sunstriker asks, can walk here be a left click option with pets? I'd like to have mine out more often, but without accidentally clicking on them.
Not under the current engine. If we can get it reprogrammed a bit more, then yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Easy.
And that finishes.
Mind
No,
you,
I have one more.
I would not like to postpone the work on the data warehouse anymore.
Yes.
Agreed.
I'd like to see it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright then. A couple more questions here, then we're going to show off the XP dropper. So look forward to that. Austin asks, can bird eggs get a purpose? Suggesting they count as a god item in God Wars. It's not a terribly
What,
useful purpose, but it
carry
is a
the egg
purpose.
around?
Yeah, it would replace an inventory slot. Other suggestions included god omelets, cakes, basically cooking stuff.
I've been saying God omelets for a long time. I'm glad it's caught on in the community.
Yeah.
It's all sorts of stuff we could do, but it's it's again giving it a purpose which is useful above everything else that we do.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys from last week, remember the sort of the list I had of the 99 updates we've got sitting there. It's it's grown now significantly. We can do, and there's the omelettes is an interesting idea. I'm not entirely sure what we do with them, but it'd be nice to have pet birds from them.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be anything special because everyone's got them. So it's what we need to do something good with it that's better than the other stuff that we can do. I don't think there is an awful lot out there.
The thing with the omelets is they are quite rare. You would really only be able to have a few of them, no matter how much you would cut. You wouldn't be able to rack them up to like PK with them or boss with them or anything. So you wouldn't eat them, certainly. At least you would hope not. So here's a different idea. Ben suggested a god egg and 750k, a little pricey. Construction and hunter requirements. So basically, you would talk to the falconer, who would tell you he could help you hatch that egg. He would send you on a journey, and after incubating it for 24 hours, a wieldable, remodeled, hopefully I'm saying this right, gear falcon? G-Y-R falcon? I don't know. It's a falcon. Based on the color of the egg would be rewarded. So this thing, I think, just sits on your shoulder. I'm pretty sure RS3 has one of these now.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Does it consume like one egg when you get the thing, and do you ever need to use the other 100 eggs you might have stockpiled?
That's a good question.
That's why I like the ones that involve consuming it for a potion or for an omelette or for juggling and having accidents, because it gradually has a use for them rather than saying, great, you've now got 5,000 eggs from the last 2 years of playing. You can use one of them, and the others are if you, well, throw away. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, makes sense. Last
now,
question.
if you had to, if you've got some kind of pet that ate the things, that might be another matter entirely. Like some kind of demonic pet that eats god eggs.
Snake.
So,
like eggs, snakes.
So your Zulrah pet, no, they can already change colors. I was going to say, so a pet eats the god egg, then changes the color.
If you feed it lots of eggs,
you could have a green Zamorak pet. There you go, problem solved.
What's that? Is it the basilisk, which is meant to be a snake egg hatched by a chicken, or vice versa? I'm just wondering if you do something with, what happens if something evil hatches a god egg? What kind of creature you get out of that?
Indeed.
All right. Thad asks, how close are we to seeing the new Slayer bosses come out? There was a follow-up question to this asking if you do have an idea of a rough schedule. When might be these things be coming out and in what order?
Yeah, August, September time really. It's about as much as we got at the moment.
Yeah, we
very soon.
Give you one of the bosses in August, the other in September. Probably Hellhound first, because Krista's already working on it.
Yeah.
Okay. We should have more on the Hellhound boss, I believe, next week. Mod Alfred will be showing off more, so look forward to that. Very exciting.
Greyhawk says it's a chicken egg hatched by a toad that I was thinking of. I
I'm
really should
glad
read my
about that.
mythology.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Okay.
Who doesn't know?
We're going to go ahead and show off XP droppers now, then, as we let Mod Ash do his commentating.
Oh.
Stop
Feel
eating
free
for
to
a
grab
minute.
some more cookies.
All right. 2 XP drops. Excuse me. So as you see, you can turn off the minimap orbs and turn them on again, and the XP button next to the compass comes and goes with them. So if you like your old school interface completely pristine, you can leave it turned off. Now by default, the XP thingy's up there in the top right, as it was back in the earliest days of there being XP drops. And when you start getting XP, which I don't at the moment because my account was deliberately set to be noobish for that, you start seeing the little drop that's got the side like they did back in the earliest days. That little progress bar is showing you how close you are to the next level, I would think. In the probably the most recent skill you've levelled, which would have been attack in that situation. And little tooltips to show you what you've got. Tells you how close you are to the next level in attack or whatever you've chosen, because you can choose. So we can decide to have them somewhere else or make them bigger. Depending on how you've got your screen set up, you might want them any of the sizes, or right, left. If there's another head-up display, for example, then you might really want to have the XP drops positioned somewhere away from it. Like in Clan Wars, I think we put something in the top right of the screen, so you might want to put this somewhere different. And you can choose what it's showing and hover over it to see what you've got. You can choose what is shown in the new number bar, that's the counter, so now it's going to show your strength XP in the counter at the top, and at the moment it's not changing because I'm in, I think, the accurate mode. Yep. But the progress bar can be showing a different skill if I so wish, so it's still going up because I'm still levelling in attack. And yep, I've levelled.
No.
Yay.
Move, yeah. So, at this point I don't level very much. You have to see at the bottom I'm cheating a bit to make myself hit more than a player of those stats really would. good being a JMod. Right,
Gross.
so here I've set the progress bar to show my strength, and I've changed the colour because some people said when they first saw the screenshots they wanted a few colour options. So this is jade green. I'm not sure that's going to be very useful to you if you're in a green area, but it might be useful elsewhere. For this you might want cyan or red or orange. That would show up quite well. And yeah, it's showing my strength XP and showing my progress towards the next level in the bar with tooltips to tell me what I'm doing. In a minute, once I've got away from this blinking cow, it just would not die. Thank you. We go on to something else, and we set a tracker for my strength XP. So I can set that I want to be tracking from, level 3. Was it level 3 or 5? Yeah, tracking up from level 5, and it will show me how much XP I've gained since level 5. So yeah, it shows how much XP that was and how much I've gained since, and in the number bar at the top it just shows what I've gained since. You can set any start point you like. It will default to the amount of XP you've got when you set it, but you can use it to track quite flexibly. Now here's a goal feature. This is so that you can set a start point and an end point, and the progress bar, if chosen to do so, will start showing how far close you are to the start point and end point. So at the moment it's showing that the start and end of that strength goal are those numbers of XP and how much XP I've got in between, and the progress bar will move smoothly towards it over time. Yep, there's a lot of toggles here, including the option to make the whole thing just go away, because sometimes you want that. And if you want to change the it to not a number of a level but a number of XP, you can do that. You can even track it between 300 XP and level 7 if you like, although that's one heck of a funny ass goal. So now I'm tracking it between 300 XP and 1000 XP. You can track it all up to 200 million XP if the fancy takes you that way. And I'm pretty sure it will respond to level numbers all the way up to 140 just because I think. Can't actually remember. I'll have to check that. I haven't finished yet. So yeah, here's me setting a tracker in hit points. So I've now got the number bar showing my hit points tracking above a certain amount of XP, but the progress bar is still showing my strength. This way that I can see my hit points counter as I keep training, but I think if I were to hover over the progress bar's tooltip, I'd see the amount of strength progress I've got. Now here you'll see that after I've been training for a while, I keep getting the droplets and I keep seeing the tooltips and my progress towards the next level. But after I've gained the XP, and it switches to the most recent one if I've chosen for it to do so. So now I'm going to gain defense XP and it switched to that, which might be useful. Now I'm going to pick up the bones and it will show me switch to prayer XP as the most recent skill. Yep. And now we're going to wait a few seconds while we entertain ourselves, and you should see the thing disappears because there's an option to make it disappear after a few seconds. Entertaining, yeah. And it's vanished. At this point, it will come back if I gain some more XP and stay for however long I chose for it to do so, or stay permanently if I chose for that. But instead, I think we're done.
Yay!
Woo.
Very good.
Well, I hope you like that.
Yeah. I personally like how you can change the colours of it. Some good colours in there.
I think I called one of them lilac, where light blue just seems so long and verbose.
Yeah.
Not if I stop from being verbose.
All right, cool. So when can we expect to see this in game, do you think?
Thursday, with luck. Worked quite hard on it last night. I reckon most of it's nearly there.
Awesome. All right. And if you missed any of that, it'll be up on the YouTube channel, obviously after the stream, so cool. Next question is from Slay, who asks, do you have an ETA on the Clan Cup?
I was talking to Ronan about it earlier. I think what we're going to have to do is wait until the DDoSing stuff's sorted out first, so end of the year I would expect to do a clan cup, mainly because if we don't, we know what's going to happen. You're going to get one clan's going to fight another clan, it's going to be losing, it's going to DDoS the server, blame the other clan for it, we're not going to have a clue what's going on, they'll be like, and it'll all just go peak tong. So what we'll do is wait until the servers are better than they are now, and then we'll do it then. So November time, I think, is what we've tentatively got planned. So give you a chance after Dead Man mode comes out, and then do it after that, and we're up to Christmas. Quite a cool thing to do.
It's really not that far away considering we're already in August.
Yeah, indeed.
So, all right, fair enough. Next question.
We could do it now, but like I said, the problems we've got, I think, will just make it
I think it should
Wow.
certainly come after the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Stick asks, can you do another clear of inactive usernames? When was the last time we did this?
There are technical things behind that, I believe. I don't know what they are.
Don't think
But
it's
I
just
think
as easy as pushing a button.
yeah, we had a tool which was going through and releasing them. And then there's something wrong with that which made lots of other things break, which meant we had to stop doing it, and that hasn't been sorted yet, from what I remember. And I could be completely wrong. It's been known to happen in the past. But yeah, I think there's significant issues with that.
Bob asks, could we see some colorblind friendly features? So he's suggesting the ability to customize how dots appear on your mini-map. This has obviously been asked before,
I'd like
but this suggestion actually makes sense. So he'd like to change, say, example, the NPCs being blue dots and maybe players being red dots. I could see how that could be very useful to some players.
You might want to really make sure that we're not using team capes and objects around that point, but okay.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
I think the friend dot, the green shade for that, is just not good at all, though.
Yeah. Not a clue.
It's the one that gets most complaints.
Yeah. All right.
Is your stomach still rumbling and you're demolishing the popcorn?
It's really very nice, and I'm enjoying it very much. Thank you for hosting us.
Eat as much as you like.
Thank you.
Con asks, could the current continent be finished before you start working on another one? So this is a very widely discussed topic lately on Reddit. He's basically asking that if we can fill in the black areas around the corners of the map to kind of round off the current continent.
I'd be up for that. I mean, it was always left kind of open-ended so that people who wanted to do another update could bug it on the end. So mobilising armies, for example, kind of got placed at the south end underneath the Jungle Hunter area down by Ooglog. And even then, I don't think they rounded off the land. They just carried on, leaving space for even more. And I've never been a big fan of that, especially if we are looking at another continent. So I wouldn't be sorry to see the continent rounded off. There'd still be a few gaps, potentially, like the corner of Prifddinas that's never been there.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think leaving that open-ended might be quite nice,
Yep.
but it still wouldn't, feel like there's empty spaces at the edge of where you're walking because you can't get in there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, these empty spaces don't necessarily have to be filled with content. You could simply just remove the black thing and then put a border
Nice
that led to
wavy
the water.
coastline.
Yeah.
That's how I'd probably do it.
I think that would look nicer for sure. All right. Next question's from Etix, who asks, when can we expect a poll for the previously discussed 2005 game interface toggle?
Graphics job. The artists, as I say, are still currently on some other stuff, but once they're up for it, we can have it.
So, I mean, looking at what we've got coming up,
Mm.
I can't see that happening this year, really.
That's a real
Knowing
shame.
what we've got.
Given it's 2D art, and
I should
2D art
get
is...
2D art
cool.
team to do it.
I meant the players.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
They can
that's
draw.
true.
This can be a
Boy, do they
PVC.
draw.
Yeah.
Well, in a sense.
What we'd need is to adapt the 2004, 2005 game frame to have all the buttons that would be missing if we just reverted to it.
Yeah.
Like, you might want it exactly as it was, but also losing access to chat channels would be really annoying. So if it was adapted to have the right number of stone panels and to have the right number of chat tabs at the bottom, so that you don't lose some of the tabs that are useful for chat channels, then we could just do that, and it's all 2D art, so the format wouldn't be a problem. We could take a PNG off the players if they were...
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if the players can put it together, I think that's an easy way of doing it.
I think it'll probably be on Reddit by the end of the day.
I would hope so.
Result.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, then that's easy peasy, isn't it?
All right.
I really maybe we can get Ronan to put something out to sort of explain exactly what we need, and then they have ideas what they're working towards.
Speaking of which, when should we show off the Mousepad designs? I think maybe after a couple of questions, we should probably be good for that.
We're getting towards that, I think.
That sounds all right.
Oh, there's another one.
Cool. Next question. Stop saying cool. That's on here, isn't it?
It's not, no.
Should
No.
be.
It's on the one the players made of us,
Yeah.
but not on the...
I'm
Go on,
probably
we've
at
made
like
it
12 so far. Tinox asks, with the new F keys rebinding happening soon, it happened today. This is an old question. He's asking, can Control plus left click in a bank withdraw all of the item or all but one?
I was having a chat with Maz and Ian about that earlier. We were trying to work out how we'd go about it. Obviously, it's the server that decides whether you get what you get when you click. So either the server would need to know at all times whether you got caps locked, whether you've got the button down or not, which would be rather a lot more transmission than we really want coming out your computers to us all the time. Or we try and do something hacky on the client that redraws the buttons to show you different options based on whether you've got the key down. We reckon that could work, although it would be a fair bit more drawing for the client because it would have potentially 2 sets of buttons to draw, or it would redraw the existing ones every time you click the thingy. So that's what we're thinking about, and what we did in the end was just note it down on the list of things we might like to talk to the engine team about in future when they're not doing other things.
That's a big list.
It is that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, why not?
All right. To anybody complaining and saying, don't change the graphics of the game, don't worry, the interface toggle would be a toggle, meaning you wouldn't have to use that if you didn't like it. Also, would probably be pulled, so
Yeah.
don't be too worried there. Okay, one more question. I think we'll go into the mouse pads. Imperium asks, can Bounty Hunter's target system go by the GE value of equipment? So hopefully find a target that would have a similar Grand Exchange value risk to what you are risking.
Ooh, interesting. I know at the moment it tries to indicate how much they're carrying, and for that it could use GE prices, which I think it currently doesn't.
I think it goes by ALC value.
Yeah, we could change that to use GE prices, and that would make a lot of sense.
Indeed, yeah.
That would be quite nice.
Whether we'd want to try and match you against somebody who's carrying a similar amount of wealth is... well, at the moment, the most of the feedback I get about it is that people would like a target closer to their combat level. And if we stopped basing on combat level and instead went based on what you're carrying, I think that would be worse.
I think it'd be really nice for anybody who appreciates risk fights in specific. And I would agree in saying that somebody risking 20k shouldn't get a target that's risking 5 mil. So this would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
See what the players think there.
I suppose I mean, there's so many factors really on choosing who you fight as well, because if you're looking at, firstly, if they're near your combat level, secondly, are they near your wealth level or your risk level, and then have you fought them before in X amount of times, and all the other stuff we've got in place as well.
There may be enough people present to...
Exactly, yeah, there's so many variances, it gets a bit tricky.
That would also allow players to potentially kind of boost in having a friend risk the exact same amount as them. Say somebody went in with 72 mil, your friend brings 72 mil. Well, probably wouldn't want to kill them for that, but...
Certainly if we were going to try and tighten how it's picking your opponents, I'd like to be able to tighten the combat level and also the distance, wilderness level,
right.
So that you get a target who turns out to be in deep wilderness and you just don't want to go there because you were enjoying yourself near Edgeville.
Yeah.
If it could restrict based on position, that might be a little more helpful to what most people want to do. But I agree, wealth is interesting. Maybe the players would like it.
Okay. I think we're going to have the Mousepad submissions coming up on the screen very shortly then. So I believe there's 8 or 10 total.
10, I think.
10? Some really good ones. So here's the first one. By the way, guys, there will be a straw poll. You'll get to vote on these. There's the second one. That's an Iron Man one, I believe.
Yeah.
There's the third one. There's an interesting cartoony kind of touch there.
To give you all an idea, if although the straw poll isn't 100% accurate when it comes to what people vote in and what have you, if there are multiple ones which are really popular, then we'll do multiple ones.
Yeah. This one, if we can just pause here, sorry. I
really like that one.
That's amazing, isn't it?
I know I probably shouldn't share my opinion, so I'm not going to say anything.
Too late now, really, isn't it?
It's just really cool.
But yeah, there's some really good though. I mean, the stuff we've got coming in, some of the ones we haven't even included on here are really good as well. So it's
there's a lot of really, really, really nice submissions.
Yeah, it's been lovely to see.
There's an interesting one. A couple of them actually gave Old School a sky, which was a nice touch.
I like this one.
Yeah.
I think it's really cute.
So again, you guys will have a chance to vote for all of these and choose your favorite. And I'm not sure if we're going to choose one or maybe 3 of the winners.
It depends. Like I said, if there's one that's outstripping everything else, then we'll have that one. If there are 3 or 4 which are really good, we'll do 3 or 4. There's no sort of limit really.
Yeah.
We could do as many as we like. They're nice and easy to make, so it's easy peasy.
So no gnome child submissions then?
There were a lot of gnome child submissions.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So next question. Lord asks, can the Mage Void be boosted? Again, this is coming up. It's inferior to the increased damage that range/melee offer.
Can what be boosted?
Mage Void. You really don't see Mage Void used anywhere.
For what it's worth, I went looking through the code once, and the way void boosts work, for melee, it takes your attack stat and then multiplies up for the void boost and calculates your accuracy from it. Then takes your strength, multiplies that up for the void boost and calculates your damage from it. So each has been increased once for the void boost. Now ranged, what the developer did there, and I'm willing to bet he didn't do it on purpose, was he takes your range stat, multiplies it up by the void boost, calculates your accuracy from it, multiplies it up by the void boost again, calculates your damage from it. So your range damage is actually being boosted twice by the void boost rather than once. Now, I've always been inclined to leave the thing alone because it's been like that since the old school days, but I'm willing to bet he didn't mean it. And it might also explain why range boost is a lot more valuable than the mage one, because mage damage is not based on that kind of thing at all.
Yeah. When you think about it, really, the melee void comes quite close in comparison to the strength bonus that max strength offers. And the range void also, I think, is a bit better than the bonuses you can get with max range, just armor pieces. But the mage void, I don't think comes very close to being on par with the Arims and Occult and all that.
Almost certainly not.
Yeah, so it is certainly a little bit nerfed in comparison.
Well, the fact is, magic damage is calculated off the spell you're using in most cases, unless you've got something like a trident. And though there's things that multiply up your magic damage a little, I don't think that's coming to play here. Certainly not to anywhere near that extent. So magic damage is calculated differently, not in a very useful way. Yeah. We could add multipliers, or more multipliers, to increase mage damage or increase your mage max hit with whatever spell you're using. We've written a few other things that do that kind of thing.
Okay. There's another idea to kind of help give Mage a little helping hand here from Dream, who asks, could you pull a buff to the smoke spells? So he's suggesting a buff to super poison instead of normal poison. I believe the poison only hits for like 3 or 4 right now. Buffing that to even just a 6 is a slight buff. Nothing to really yell about, but it's not quite venom, obviously. There's an ice cream truck. Oh my god.
Can you hear that?
Anyways, they'll be able to hear it.
I can hear the hooting, they'll hear the ice cream truck.
Anyways, along with the smoke spells, there's also the shadow spells, which have one of the best attack animations in game, in my opinion, and not very useful at all. So, whether we like to see it, whether they would like to see a buff to those 2 spells, would be quite interesting. I think if you didn't hear the ice cream, you probably heard it in your head. We all know what it sounds
well,
like.
they're now spamming ice cream. What other noises are they going to hear next?
So I'm just gonna get a kind of interesting idea from the chat here. I'm not gonna go by this, just an idea. Shadow and smoke spells. Yes or no for a little buffing. All right, next question. Cloud asks, could bosses in Old School have a super rare membership bond drop? These bonds would be only allowed to be used on the player that received them, so you couldn't sell them after you got them. Meaning you could potentially have unlimited membership if you were lucky enough at boss killing. So as it stands currently, obviously, this kind of works already. As if you kill enough bosses, you make enough money, you can buy bonds, you can get your unlimited membership that way. But
the thing is, if we're generating the bond out of nowhere, that's effectively us giving away free membership. And if they're very rare, but you can get one every couple of weeks if you just grind the boss non-stop, that's you having kind of free membership forever. Right. Sorry to be stingy here, but we're not really looking to give away free membership in that particular way.
Yeah. One of the, this is years ago I came up with this idea to do this, was to do something similar to free-to-play players, give them some membership monsters in some sort of new mini-game, and there was a chance it would drop a token which would then give you either cheap membership or a couple of days membership to try and tip people from free-to-play to members. That might not necessarily be good for our game because we haven't looked at what our free-play players are doing. Are they ever going to become members? If we put them into membership, are they going to become a member for 2 days and then realise they don't want to play free-to-play anymore and not play at all? So we need to sort of think of that, but that's sort of one of the ideas that I had many years ago.
I like that idea a bit more than this one. All right. GN3 asks, would putting a daily limit on Zulrah be out of the question? So,
I think it would not get voted for.
This is one that hasn't
think we
surprisingly
can
come up
question
yet. If not, he asks, what about charging the alch value of the items that you lost to reclaim them?
Maybe when the network is a bit more resilient to DDoS attacks, we can start looking at that kind of thing. In the meantime, since, well, lag at Zora is pretty bad for you, making a change like that right now might not be a good move.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of yeses for a limit on Zora. I think the real question is, what would the limit be? Because if it's like 5 or 6, then I mean, right? But I have no idea how many times some people actually get around to killing Zora every day.
Easy enough to program, and also, given how many of those scrolls it drops, you're pretty much guaranteed to be back there in no time.
Yeah. When it boils down to, again, once the data warehouse is in there, we can see how many times people are doing it and the impact it's having, and probably come up with better solutions and putting a limit on it.
So you know, 20s and 30s.
I was also going to say we could put in a few more iterations to what Zora does. You know, keep shaking that up from time to time, or indeed have some more random periods of what Zora does. And although it'll be a lot less tactical, people may not be killing it quite so fast.
Indeed.
Well, seeing as how the degrading items into scales is not looking to likely pass, I would see this having a hard time passing, really. But there is surprisingly a lot of support in the chat. That being said, we know that sometimes the chat is very for something, and then you pull it, and they're like, "Just kidding. We just wanted to see you pull this."
Like the
Can't believe
selfie
you actually did it.
all that time ago.
Yeah.
There was so much support on Twitter, apparently, but didn't go anywhere in the actual poll.
Yeah.
All right, we've got time for a couple more questions. So, Sarushi asks, could Iron Men have the ability to purchase bonds? So currently they do not. They have to hop on a different account and use a bond on their Iron Man. So the suggestion here is perhaps James could sell bonds.
Now, again, if the game is selling bonds in exchange for virtual coins, effectively that's Jagex giving out membership again. Don't think that's going to happen like that.
Yeah.
But it was pointed out that what we could do is let Iron Men use the GE only for the purchase of bonds, at which point they can't control who it's coming from. All they get is some membership in exchange for some of their genuinely earned GP going out the game. They can't sell bonds, they can't buy or sell anything else, but they are permitted to buy bonds off the GE.
That makes sense.
They can do. Got it on Twitter earlier.
Our very last question actually has an image. This is an interesting one. So Boulder asks, can, Ash help me here, could Click the Fairy Dragon be obtainable as a pet?
Yes, if we had a suitable thing to give it from.
Right.
After all, it's a size 1 model, that makes the best kind of pet.
There you can see him there. He's a little cute little flying dragon.
My name is Click, I'm a fairy dragon. Lovely dialogue.
What is Fairy Dragon?
In the Recipe for Disaster quest, you have to get a creme brulee for Sir Amic Vase, I think it was. And you have to get it bruleed by Click the Fairy Dragon, because that's how you get a creme brulee.
Yeah.
So you have to kill black dragons, get the token that's dropped by those, go to the evil chicken's lair, get stuff, and when you've made the creme brulee, you take it to Click and he will grant you a wish. You ask for a horse, he tells you where to put that, but you can also ask him to cook your creme brulee, and if you don't have suitable ice gloves or something, then you probably won't enjoy what comes next. But
So when did RFD come out?
2006, wasn't it?
Wow, I don't feel quite so bad about not remembering any of that at all then.
I mean, I know I was still the upload manager in those days, but they let me write the big cutscene in the dining room.
Yeah.
I've had to rewrite a few other bits of it in the intervening years, because we learned a few tricks about where bugs come from here, and we're able to fix some of those. But yeah, Click the Fairy Dragon, nice graphic, been around for a long time.
Wow, yeah, no, I was also, I don't remember any of that. But then if I did it in 2006, which I would have done, then that would be why.
Well, we just have to decide how it's given is all, because boss pets are supposed to be iconic and very rare, so if it was given by just having done that quest, not so good.
Yeah, indeed.
But if the player's got something else in mind for it, that could work.
We've got to do bingo. We've got to tell people there's only one bingo before we do anything else.
I do have bingo. I will show you. I'm missing currently. Someone attempts to buy a GF. Didn't see any of those.
Yeah. There were loads.
Something about augury prayer is said, and anything about crocs. Unfortunately,
you've
crocs.
There's been quite a lot of crocs earlier.
Aside from that, I did get bingo, so I'm pretty sure I win.
Yeah, no, I'm 5 short, which is I'm sure most of these have been said. Somebody asking about a Jad pet. Somebody talking about
Behind you. They're helping you.
By the time we get to the end, hopefully somebody will win. Players asking about a Jad pet. I didn't see any of. Somebody says mod boner, whatever that might mean.
Who knows, eh?
Unbanned mod reach wasn't said that I saw, but it probably was.
Yeah, it probably was.
They've talked about him a lot. They just didn't say to unban him.
Yes, indeed. The chat requests a mod is unmuted. I didn't get, and I didn't see any references to the boaty swamp.
And I haven't seen anyone say shots fired.
No, they
may
did.
have done
They
it.
did.
Oh, I have a boat A1 as well.
Yeah, I had boaty.
I saw them
I
say
missed
that.
that one.
Oh, they said it quite early on.
A mod
Okay,
gets
guys.
fired by the chaps.
Yeah, the mod did get
They've
fired
said
by the
that.
chat.
They
yeah,
did.
yeah, somebody did get fired by the chat.
It's a kind of cool idea, but we got a little distracted from the questions. I think that's okay.
Once the while is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So serious. Don't be so serious.
That being said, the Q&A is over. I won bingo. Just let it be known.
Shots fired.
We will. Well, thank you for watching.
I have to thank Gareth for the excellent artwork he did for the image as well.
And thank you very much for hosting us.
Doodle.
Anytime. Cool. See you next week, guys.
Take care. Bye bye.